Hello and welcome to the Pragsot Podcast. I am your host, Robbie. Got a pretty good episode today. So we're going to go over a little bit about Overwatch and how much I hate it. We're going to discuss my favorite tabletop game being HeroScape. And then we got some more viewer emails. We're going to go into some interesting would you rathers as well as some more advice. So, oh man, so I'm posting a day late. For my dedicated listeners, I definitely apologize. Last week was crazy. I thought yesterday was Saturday. So last week with work, there was some call outs and some opportunities where I had to come in and work a different shift than I am used to. That really fucked me up. Um, I lost Saturday altogether. I don't know where it went. I just, went to bed really late Friday night, slept in. So when I woke up on Saturday, for some reason, it just didn't register to me that it was Saturday. Then yesterday, I got much better sleep Saturday night into Sunday, but went about my stuff on Sunday thinking it was Saturday. So it was late last night. I was playing a video game with one of my good friends, and he was like, "Hey man, when are you posting the podcast episode?" I was like, "Tomorrow, man. What are you talking about? Like, I'm gonna do it tomorrow when I always do it." And he was like, "You do it on Sundays?" I was like, "Yeah, tomorrow's Sunday." And he's like, "No, dickhead, tomorrow's Monday." So I apologize for that for sure. But I'm here today, and I think I'm recording 2 episodes this weekend. So look at that as like a little reward, little treat there. Yeah, last week was crazy. And then even the week before that, right? I was sick. I decided to take a week off of work. It was like a week and a day, so it was actually just slightly longer than a week. I took off. I was like, I'm about due. Took this time off and fucking got sick the day before it started and wasn't truly better until the day I had to go back. I laid in bed for the vast majority of it, sick as a dog. Absolute waste of my time. But we're back now, and let's get into it. So, Overwatch. For some of you, you know exactly what that is. For others, not a fucking clue. Overwatch is a first-person shooter, kind of. Basically, with Overwatch 2, it's a 5 versus 5, and it's a first-person video game, and like every character is unique. So every character has their own little shtick. They do their own things. There's different things that they're good at, things that they're not good at, and it makes it really interesting. There are some characters where it's very easy to understand and very safe to play. Not a ton of value from them, but you really can't go wrong. There's some that are just, there's a healer named Lucio, and he heals everybody around him just passively. Like, he just does it. So very easy, very safe character to play, right? If you're in support, you're not sure, how to do it, or like you don't really have the best aim, you pick Lucio. And Lucio, as long as you're around a teammate, he's going to keep him healed up. But then there's characters where like the skill ceiling gets progressively higher. All the way up to like, there's people in there that are snipers that if you hit someone once in the head, you can kill them. But to reliably do that, you need aim way better than I have. But the frustrating part with Overwatch is it's a team-based game. So there's always objectives. It's not like capture the flag and stuff like that. It's usually, you have to capture a point. So, the enemy team spawns near it and they're trying to defend it. You're trying to take it. And once you take it, there's either an additional point that you have to take, or a lot of times then there will be this like little, I don't know, vehicle thing that moves slowly as long as your team's around it, and you have to like escort it to the secondary spot. And man, on paper, it's a good game, but it fucking rattles my bones sometimes because there's no one player, there's no one character that's like severely overpowered to the point where it can compensate for having shitty teammates. And so many times, man, you'll play that game, you'll have an amazing fucking game, dude. You'll go like 30 kills, 6 eliminations, and you'll do 10,000 fucking damage. If you're a tank, you're doing, 12, 13, 15,000 in mitigation. Um, and you fucking lose anyway because your team didn't work like a fucking team like they were supposed to. So you just, even though you crushed it and had a fucking amazing game, your team shit the bed, so you lost. And because you lost, you drop in ranking. Drives me fucking nuts because there's so many times where I'll play. I enjoy playing tank. When you play the 5v5, there's only one tank per team. And, tanks are a little beefier. They have some more health. Some of them can do more damage, but it really depends. There's some that can do more damage from farther away. There's some that have to be right up on you. There's one that has a fucking hammer. Like, he has to be right up on you to hit you. But I enjoy it because it's really the guy that, if the tank is moving forward, the expectation is the team moves forward. And if the tank is moving back, the expectation is that the team falls back. And man, you just play with some fucking idiots sometimes where they just don't get the fucking memo, dude. Like, I'm a tank, I'm moving forward, I'm communicating, I am moving forward. And I'll get wiped because the healers are just not fucking healing, Or I'll make space with the tank. That's another big role of the tank, is to like make space for your team to advance, because the whole point of the fucking game is to take space. So I'll make space. I'll drop barriers or shields, or I'll fucking physically be there, and I'll communicate like, guys, we're moving, let's go. And like, fucking team's just a bunch of idiots, and they get nothing. And then you fucking die, and then because you're dead, now the rest of the enemy team can just advance and fucking steamroll the rest of your team, and it's so fucking frustrating. Um, and then the other part about it too, man, when you play with friends in a group, the game matches you with an enemy team that has the same amount of people in a group as you. So if I play with 2 friends in a group of, me and 2 friends, we're a group of 3. It's a 5v5. So we're going to be playing with 2 strangers when we join a game. The game will try to put you against an enemy team that has 3 or 4 people playing in a group with 1 or 2 strangers playing with them. And let me fucking tell you, the amount of just sweaty people that play this fucking game, you try to play with a party of 2 friends, good fucking luck, because you're playing against 3 fucking guys that are taking this like the goddamn game 7 of the fucking finals. Like, it is insane how just frustrating it can be. But you'll win that one fucking game out of 20, and it makes it all worth it. It really makes you play another fucking 20 games. But yeah, played a little bit of that when I was sick. Yeah, man, that's one of those games that just pisses you off. Every game just pisses you off. It's nothing like this other game that I play. This one's an actual like physical tabletop game. It's called HeroScape. So for everyone that doesn't know, HeroScape, man, it was big. It came out, shit, I don't know, probably somewhere between 2004 and 2006, probably somewhere around there. And then it stopped releasing. I want to say it was like 2010, something like that. It had like a 5-6 year run. And it's fucking so cool, man. It's so, you have miniatures, and unlike, Warhammer and shit like that, where the miniatures are super expensive, you got to put them together, you got to paint them yourself. These things were coming, already made, already painted, especially like the first runs were already made and already painted. They've since re-released. Some other company, I can't remember off the top of my head, some other company actually picked up the trademark or whatever, and they're currently releasing some new Heroescape stuff. But you got it comes painted or unpainted. Um, but yeah, so like you had different characters, and you either had armies or heroes. Heroes was one character per like unit. Um, Whereas like an army you had, or a squad, I guess, you could have 2 to 4 physical like little figures per squad. And every unit has its own like point value, and the point value is based on like what they do. You have movement, you have range, attack, defense, special abilities, all types of shit that contributes to like how much this little squad would cost. And then when you play the game, everyone that's playing, which you can expand it to be as many people as you want. I think the largest game I had was a 10-player free for all. I think maybe an 8-player free for all. But the terrain that you play on is fully modular. So, you can make the map whatever the fuck you want, which really just makes the game. I think that's one of the biggest things that makes the game so fun is like, it's not going to be the same map, man. It's never going to be the same map. There's height. You can build the map up and down, and there's different terrain. There's all types of like environmental stuff. They have water, they have ice, they have lava that all like do their own things. And then even like the armies, right? Like everyone picks, hey, here's how many points we have. We have 500 points for our armies to draft. And everyone's picking different characters that all have their own different, abilities and pros and cons and everything. And, there's so many synergies and things. And then there's, depending on how the map is, there's going to be characters or creatures that are so much better than others. If you have a couple of really high points, your ranged guys are going to dominate, or if everything's pretty flat and it's easy to like get to each other, your melee guys that got good moves, like physically can move a lot, those are going to be the ones that end up winning, right? Um, just so much replayability. And then even if everything was the exact same, even if you and one person built one map together and drafted one army each and played a game, and then a week later sat back down, built the exact same thing, the exact same armies, and played it even the same turns. I go, then you go, then I go, then you go. The game, every interaction, you have to roll dice. So I'm coming at you, I'm attacking you with this guy. He has an attack value of 2, you have a defense value of 2. So we're each rolling 2 dice. And like, depending on what the dice say and how much life that guy has, it's going to, even if everything else is the exact same, that moment is still going to change it. You could have a game where you have a guy and he's just crushing everything. You're just hitting good dice rolls after good dice rolls, and like one guy is eliminating half the enemy team. And then you can play the exact same fucking game, and like that guy dies the first encounter you have. Like, just makes it so replayable. And then I get deep into like the customization of it. I have so many like custom terrain pieces and custom figures that I got. There's a whole community from the time that it shut down until the new people started it up again. There's a whole community that created customs, and they pick figures from other games, and they're like the same size, 28 mil. And they draft them and they play, and like they play test them and play test them and play test them to make sure that they're like on the same scale, or like the same, like they're on par with all the other characters. It doesn't feel too overpowered. And then they release like all the images and all the files and all the information you need. Like, hey, here's this guy that we created. Here's the point value. Here's a card that you can print out. And here's where you find this figure, and it's awesome. It's awesome. The amount of like customization, I almost said customability. The amount of customization that there is truly endless. Yeah, I got all types of custom units, some that I made, some that I purchased, custom terrain. I have so many like just different things that I made. I used a 3D printer for a while to make a bunch of it. Facebook Marketplace, buying just like stuff that looks cool. I bought a bunch of like old aquarium terrain or something that this guy was selling for like next to nothing, and took it, converted it, turned it into like caves for the game and, crazy tunnels and stuff. Um, Bridges that I made, all types of things. And like all of it has a purpose too, because the game also has mechanics for being behind cover and like height advantages and disadvantages. So generally speaking, if you're a figure and you're on a higher level than another figure you're attacking, you get to add one extra attack die. And then vice versa, if you're above and you're defending, you get to roll an extra defense die. And then when it comes to cover, every figure, like on their squad card, it shows where their line of sight is and what on them is considered visible. So if you're trying to figure out, can this guy attack this guy? They have a range. And then if that character's within the range, you then have to get down to the eyesight, the eye level, I guess, of that figure and see, can you physically see that other guy? And then specifically, can you see a part of him that like counts? Because there's some things that have like, metal wings or whatever, and they don't count. Like if you can see the tip of a wing or like the tip of a gun, like that doesn't count. But can you see like their fucking leg? That counts. Um, so the game's just so much fucking fun, dude. And then like when you get a bunch of guys together, man, I'll get fucking 6 people together, dude, and we'll just have a 6-player free for all, or we'll do like a 3v3, and you make a fucking day out of it. Make a huge fucking map that's super interesting with all these like points of interest, and you put glyphs around that when you step on them they activate and they do cool stuff like teleport anyone to you, or you pick up like a special weapon that you can use whenever, and it does all this crazy shit. And then yeah, you get a bunch of dudes together, man. Everyone drafts their fucking teams. I've had times where we've done like blind draft where, you just pick a random card and you just fucking deal with it. Um, and yeah, everyone plays. And get to hooting and hollering, have a couple of twisted teas in you, you know, order some fucking pizzas. It's a fucking dream come true, man. I fully recommend anyone that's into tabletop games, check out HeroScape. Anyone that's kind of thinking about looking into tabletop games, get into HeroScape. Even anyone that's like, damn, man, my friends and I get together and we play shit, but like don't really, we're looking for something new. Fucking pick up HeroScape, man. Again, like just the amount of customization you can do. I have 3 full expansions that I custom built. Um, I have one that's like set in the Fallout universe. So I have a bunch of characters I created that are specific to Fallout. I have a Lord of the Rings one where I have a whole bunch of Lord of the Rings characters, including a new, like a custom game mode that I made where you're trying to like find the one ring. Um, and then I even have a Skyrim one that I never got to like fully like play test, but I have a Skyrim one where like I have chests, and based on what you roll depends on what you get, and like those things can permanently alter the way that your character, like how his attack or defense or whatever gets rolled. And then also like shouts, because obviously that's a thing in Skyrim. So um you can get crazy with it, man. Like it's just really no limits. So yeah, I highly recommend it. Again, when you compare it to like a Warhammer 40K or something, like it's really cheap to get into comparatively, and it's so much more open and free compared to like a Warhammer. Yeah, that's my little tidbit on HeroScape, man. Fucking love HeroScape. Next up, I wanted to read. So I had 2 people reach out for some advice. I figured we'll just kind of get them both done here. And then I also had you guys. You didn't really send me advice as much as some pretty interesting would you rather's. So I picked a couple of them that I thought were the best. So let's get into these here. First one is, would you rather be able to eat anything you want and have it be perfect nutrition, or have to only sleep 1 hour a day and be fully rested? That's not even a fucking thought. I'd rather sleep for 1 hour a day. Um, I mean, you're gaining, if I'm awake for 23 hours a day, fully rested. I mean, first off, if I'm doing that, fuck the perfect nutrition. I'll just, I have so much more time to cook and meal prep and everything. But being awake 23 hours a day, fully rested, which is very important. Like, dude, I'm a fucking superhero or a supervillain. Like that's you. I can't be stopped. Whatever I choose to do, like you just got to deal with it. I can't be stopped. Um, yeah, easily all day long. I'd rather sleep 1 hour a day, be fully rested. Fuck the perfect nutrition. I'm fat anyway. No. Would you rather own a rhino the size of a hamster or a hamster the size of a rhino? Easily rhino-sized hamster. Like what the fuck? What am I going to do with a hamster the size of a fucking rhino? That thing's going to eat and shit so much. But the rhino the size of a hamster, just fucking put it in a little hamster cage, bro. We're chilling. That's mad cool. Bring him out during parties and stuff. I think it's hella cool. Easily rhino the size of a hamster. If you say hamster the size of a rhino, you're a fucking psychopath. Check into your nearest psych ward. Would you rather be very beautiful and have diarrhea forever, or very ugly and safe from diarrhea for the rest of your life? Another easy one. I'm already very beautiful and have diarrhea pretty much forever. That's easy. I think, I mean, when you say very beautiful and it's like not even subjective, like it is a fact that you were not just beautiful, but you're very beautiful. I think anyone's going to deal with diarrhea, man. I mean, you have fucking ugly ass dudes with mud butt pulling bitches. It's, it's not a big deal. Um, I think that, easily very beautiful with diarrhea. Some chicks are into that, bro. Some chicks might want you to fucking release the poop gate on them. So easily very beautiful with diarrhea. I'd rather look good with a mud butt. All right, last one here. Would you rather fuck the top half of Emma Watson's body with the bottom half of Hulk Hogan's body, or the top half of Hulk Hogan's body with the bottom half of Emma Watson's body? Shit. I mean, all right, so that's the hardest one so far. Would I rather fuck the top half of Emma Watson's body with the bottom half of Hulk Hogan, or the top half of Hulk Hogan with the bottom half of Emma Watson? So the first thing that really jumps out is the bottom half of Hulk Hogan is where his dick and balls are. So you're basically asking, do I want to fuck a dude that looks like Emma Watson? Or do I want to fuck an absolutely horrendous woman? I think I'm going top half Hulk Hogan, bottom half Emma Watson. Because I mean, I don't got to fuck you missionary, right? Like I can fucking turn you around. You can't do that with the bottom half of Hulk Hogan's. I mean, you're still fucking a dude butt. Like, yeah, I think the top half got to be Hulk Hogan. Bottom half got to be Emma Watson. I think that's gonna be my final answer there. Let me know what you guys think. What would you do? Would you rather fuck the top half of Emmy Watson with Hulk Hogan's fucking bottom end, or the other way around? Then same with these other ones. Would you rather own a rhino the size of a hamster, or the hamster the size of a rhino? And would you rather get 1 hour of sleep or be a fucking weirdo and eat whatever you want? Feel free to let me know in the comments, or email me anything. But that was pretty good. It was pretty good. Let's get on to the advice. So again, feel free to email me at thepragsotpodcast@gmail.com. For the subject, feel free to just put advice. It remains completely anonymous, other than me just talking through what it is that you put. And I do sometimes change, if you do give me specific names or something like that in the email. I know that happens by accident when you're so used to talking about something personally. It's kind of hard to like filter that. I do go in there. I will change if you put specific names or anything weird, if you happen to put your hometown or any other kind of like personal information, I do edit that out. So yeah, feel free to email me at thepragsotpodcast@gmail.com. Subject line advice, and I'll give you some good anonymous advice. So getting into the first one here, this guy wants to know, am I the asshole for physically defending myself from a grown man when I was late bringing his daughter home? So he says, went out on a date with this girl. I found out that she still lives with her parents and that she still has a curfew. I respected that she had a curfew, and that she still lived at home since she was going to college. This would save her some money. I planned on taking her out to mini golf and then our conversation part being done there. And then afterwards, go and get some tacos. Fucking love tacos. Upon picking her up, her father, who is a much older man, was very traditional on dating, said that I needed to have her home by 9:30 sharp. I said okay and promised to take her home on time. We had our date. It was a fun interaction. Unfortunately, on the way home, there was this jerk who was going almost 15 below the speed limit the entire way back and would not move so I could pass. I ended up arriving at her house late. I planned to explain myself when I was walking up the driveway to her door when her father physically grabbed me by the collar of my shirt and put his free hand into a fist. Out of reaction, I had gotten behind him and twisted his arm. I kept him like this while he swore at me and said I would never date his daughter. I let go of him, pushed him away, got off into my car. Later, my date called me, telling me I had to apologize for attacking her father and hurting his pride. I do feel bad that I did this, but I also feel justified for what I did. Huh. So right off the bat, man, are you an asshole? No. I think first and foremost, you, like you had to defend yourself. It's not like you mutually engaged in combat with this guy or he started mounting off and you started mounting off. Like that's not what happened, right? You went up to him with every intention of apologizing and explaining yourself. And as long as you're telling the truth here, it was something that was out of your hands. And he thought that it was an appropriate situation for him to physically grab you. I'll put this, the whole shoving him, putting his arm behind his back, none of that shit would have happened. The cleanest fucking uppercut to that old man. Sweet chin music. I would not have cared at all. Uh, and then as far as this girl goes, you had to call her dad and apologize for hurting his pride. Bitch, fuck you. Uh, to answer your question, are you the asshole for defending yourself? No. 100% you need to defend yourself. I think people need to defend themselves more than what you traditionally see nowadays. Um, People are very much okay with, in my opinion, from what I've seen, people are very much okay with, letting someone cross a line, letting someone shove them or push them or, put a finger on their chest or anything like that. Put it to you this way, dog. You touch me and that's your ass. So yeah, I don't think you're wrong for defending yourself. I commend you for it. I think you were definitely in the right. And honestly, I think this was a fucking act of a higher power to just let you know not to be with this bitch no more. Um, the audacity to tell me that I gotta apologize to your dad for hurting his pride. Fuck off. You're lucky I don't go in there and try to fuck your mom for that. So yeah, dog, you're good. Um, keep make sure you keep defending yourself next time someone puts their hands on you. Fucking swing back. Next one says, my girlfriend loves to party and I'm over it. How do we meet in the middle? So, me and my girlfriend are both doing our masters in a big city where partying is a huge part of the culture. She used to be a club promoter and still loves going out. She's really social and has a lot of events, dinners, and parties. I used to enjoy that scene too, but lately I've realized I'm kind of over it. I prefer spending time with friends in smaller settings or just having a chill night together. Right now, we usually go out at least once a week, which already feels like a lot for me. Sometimes it turns into 2 or even 3 nights if something spontaneous comes up, which she's fine with, but I start feeling drained. It's not like I never go out. I do, and I try to make an effort. I just don't want to feel guilty every time I say no. She feels like she's already compromising a lot because she used to go out 3 or more nights a week, and I get that. But from my side, I feel like I'm still constantly stretching my comfort zone. She wants me there because she enjoys doing things together, and I appreciate that, but I also don't want my happiness to depend on forcing myself into plans I don't actually enjoy. In short, I'm fine with her going out with her friends. I'm always invited to join. I just don't always want to join, and she gets sad or upset because I don't want to go out as much as her. Hmm. I mean, so I personally have never been a part of this scene. I've never liked crowds. I've never liked being somewhere out public. People are fucking bumping into me and stepping on my feet. I've never been a fan of that. So I can't say that I get where you're coming from. Um, I can definitely relate to you growing out of that phase because there's definitely been things that I was super into that as I have grown and as I've matured or even just aged, I've stopped being interested in those things. There's some things that you'll keep for life. There's other things that are phases, they'll come and go. I mean, my advice I think would be assuming that there's absolutely no foul play involved, which based on your email, it sounds like that's not, as long as there's no worry or even really like potential for another man to be, trying to come on to your girl, anything like that, as long as she's always in a safe environment. If she's super passionate about it and you're not, I don't know, man. Have you tried to find something else? Maybe you can supplement that time. Maybe there's another avenue that you can both explore together where you do get enjoyment from doing this and she gets enjoyment from doing this that might take her attention off of wanting to be out all the time, partying and all that stuff. Maybe you both get into, I don't know, pick a fucking thing, clay making or fucking axe throwing or something. Maybe you both get into painting. Um, and you both are like doing that together instead of going out and partying. I would try to explore that, man. See if there's anything that the two of you could both pick up together as a hobby or as just like a thing to help pass the time and do that together. I think, her wanting you around is a good sign. There's definitely women out there, men too, but there's definitely people out there that go looking for those kinds of situations to get away from their significant other, right? So I think the fact that she's inviting you and like her friends want you to go out, like I definitely take that as a good sign. Um, I think if she wants to do that stuff and she has friends that you can trust that are always going to be around her, she's not out there getting fucking drunk and God only knows what else. Like as long as it's a healthy outlet, is what it is. In my opinion, most people are going to grow out of that stuff anyway. It's just a matter of when. Um, but I would definitely try to see what you can do with her instead that you both find fulfilling, but doesn't involve you going out and partying. And I'm sure there's going to be something. There's got to be something, Is it watching movies together? Is it cooking? Maybe you both enjoy cooking and you start doing that together. There's got to be something, man. That would be probably my biggest piece of advice. See what you can do to supplement that time. Um, but again, man, I think that her asking you to go out is a huge green flag, and then her getting kind of like bummed out that you don't, I think is also a green flag. Just to make sure it stays that way. When she stops asking, or even worse, like her friends stop asking, that's when I would fucking pull the plug on that shit. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this week's episode. Thanks again for stopping by. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the episode. Be sure to email me at thepragsotpodcast@gmail.com if you want any advice. You could also email me any kind of, funny little quips like these guys did with the Would You Rathers. Um, Very likely I'll talk through it on the podcast. Till next time, guys. Thanks. Bye bye.